Let's go ahead
Yeah,
and get awesome. Let's go ahead and get it started. Welcome to another Cardinal House AMA. I know we've had you on about a month ago. I think it was about that long
yeah,
ago. Um, and today is October 13th. We got WarFi this time though. WarFi. Super
yeah.
excited to hear from everything you guys got. But as you know, we do things a little bit differently. So I'm opening up the polls channel so everyone can see it. Go ahead and vote on whatever you guys find a little bit more interesting of the options and the choices that we have here. But um, I'm gonna go through them with you real quick, get to know you a little bit better on the WarFi scene, and everything you guys got going on. So first question: Reddit or Medium?
Ooh. Okay, is there an option for neither? Because I hate social media, but I gotta say medium then. Yeah,
You gotta say Medium. Oh no. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha. Now I actually have to agree. The Medium articles are far superior to to anything out there
yeah.
on Reddit.
Information and education wise, yeah, I'm gonna go with medium.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Um, if you could only buy one type of asset for the rest of your life, what would it be? NFTs or tokens?
Tokens.
I think that's a little bit easier for us here in the DeFi space. A little
Yeah,
bit
I think
easier.
so.
Bitcoin or Ethereum?
XRP.
XRP. Awesome. Are you very bullish on XRP?
Oh, I got like well, not showing my bags off or trying to you know show off or anything. I got about 200,000 XRP.
Jeez. Awesome. That's
Yeah,
wild. That is
quite
wild.
bullish. Quite bullish on XRP, man. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, yeah, there we go. XRP army. Here we are. All right, next one. A little bit more related to Warfight. Modern Warfare or Black Ops?
Oh, Black Ops, definitely Black Ops.
Really? Oh
Yeah, I gotta
man.
do it.
I don't know if we can host you anymore, dude. um,
Uh, I don't know. Yeah, I gotta go with Black Ops. There was one or two people that loved it. Yeah. Anyway,
they're tied up. The audience is 4-4 right here.
yeah.
CS:GO or Call of Duty?
CS:GO only because of the old days. Hopefully that doesn't show my age.
Old days. I CS:GO is an old game though, but I mean people still hop in today, so I think you're fine.
Yeah. Like, I remember the first before there was even Go. It was just Counter Strike, and like playing that when I was a kid, like 20 years ago. No joke. Like, gee, bro.
Were you out when it launched? Were you like ready for it?
Shut up. We're giving away my age here.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't
I'm
worry. Don't worry about
supposed to look young, let's keep it like
it. All right. Well, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And last question I got for you. What are you most excited about in blockchain tech that will be brought to the gaming scene? Whether it's something you're doing or something that you know someone else is doing, or just something in general that you're excited for.
I think the adoption, to be honest with you. I think a lot of people agree that, the play to earn space, is definitely going to bring in a lot of adoption into crypto.
Mhm.
If it's handled right and done right, and there's good solid projects and gaming platforms, I think it's really, really going to be the driver for a lot of adoption in this next year coming.
Mhm. Yeah, I have to
Yeah.
agree with you there. I think that there's a lot that's coming. Um, all right. Well, I guess let's get into a little bit of Warfi and maybe chat about because I know from everything else going on like where you're coming from and kind of the background that you have. But why don't you kind of restate a little bit of what kind of background you do have, what you've done in the past, and then now moving into Warfi and what you're doing for them.
All right, cool. So we start off, well, personal life, financial corporate world for 10, 12 years, sales marketing as well. And then crypto for 5 years. And then obviously whole of DeFi there. And I've worked for numerous projects. We all know the ones I've worked for different reasons, whether it was marketing or partnerships or this or that. And that's let me collect a lot of information while WarFi has been brewing in the background, waiting to launch. And I mean, it's been in development for over 9 months. The game, so it's a crazy time, and we've learned a lot on the way with different projects, which is great. I've learned the good, I've learned the bad. So you get to see what the market does, what obviously all the pros and cons are, and I think you find the best ways in how to launch a product. I think that's very important.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. And what do you think are the big pieces that you've taken away from, like you said, that you've worked in different crypto groups, playing different roles in different projects. But what are the biggest experiences that you take away from those that are, you're bringing into the WarFi scene?
Well, I think the main thing is, and not to like talk bad about projects or anything, but you know what? The biggest mistake I believe is, that like external revenue and utility is not brought on fast enough. And that's one of the things that WarFi has changed. From day one, having external revenue utility is very, very important. Which was nice with us. Because we had our game already ready, we already gave it out to private servers, private Discord servers, and we've earned a external revenue before we even launched. So it was quite nice doing that. And I think that's definitely the way to attack this space. Not excuse the pun on attack.
Hmm.
But basically, I believe the best way about going things these days, because of obviously how crazy this market is and how crazy this space is right now. I mean, we see some of the biggest protocols, having problems. And I believe the reason to this is obviously not having that external revenue from day one, not having that utility. But the main thing is people, give them a promise. So, here, invest in our protocol, we're going to do this, you know. And I believe
Hmm.
a promise is not good enough in this space anymore. Unfortunately, it's just not a good enough. Not even a promise is good enough. Doesn't matter if it's on the white paper. I
Hmm.
think we need to be having a product, before we launch any protocol. People need to build, and this is a perfect time to build in a bear market. Before launching anything, they need to start the protocols with, external revenue,
Hmm.
utility, an actual solution for certain things. And what is your protocol actually doing? Is it actually solving a real world problem? Is it helping drive adoption? What is it actually doing? And if there's no actual answer to that question, what are you doing in that protocol? And that's a big thing that I've learned coming forward through all these different projects, and how to run them. Why obviously they fail is a big thing, and I've learned a lot from different things. And to be open and honest, which I've been sometimes a bit too much, as people know, but I suppose I need to keep my you know uh, emotions out of it. Sometimes it's hard, as we all know. But yeah, I think that's going to be for me the key thing of launching WarFi and what
Hmm.
we've done to obviously bring it to the table.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, it's very interesting. So, what are the roles? And we're gonna dive into WarFi very shortly because I got a lot of questions, kind of leading into the revenue sources and everything. But what roles are you playing in uh on the team right now? Like, what is the
So
main
I'm
focus for you?
for me is everything. Unfortunately, I suck with delegation. Like I'm
Hmm.
terrible, so I got my hand in everywhere. But obviously, I'm the CEO. I'm the founder.
Hmm.
Bringing obviously this to the people. I got my right hand man, Coach Andrew, who's in there, amazing guy. If I'm not doing an AMA, he will be doing it. So
Hmm.
he's obviously my right hand man. And then I've got like a dev that lives literally like down the road from me. Like I couldn't trust anybody. Like I did obviously know another project which I did the C program, and but to have your own trusted dev is so hard in this space. That's like was the biggest thing for me. So I eventually, after like 3 months of looking, I found somebody that lives literally like down the road from me to obviously oversee everything. And that just created that trust, which I know, like, hey, if you do anything, like, I know where you live.
Hmm.
um, so that was quite obviously interesting. But yeah, from my side, it's literally a little bit of everything, and I believe that's obviously needed in these times. In this space especially.
Yeah, yeah, I'd have to agree. I think the trust piece is hard for a lot of people to overcome. I think generally people newer to crypto have a tougher time as well, um,
Yeah,
which is it's very difficult to know. And I think the more educated you become, the more well versed you become in the space, the more you can kind of see, okay, this is possible, this is not possible. So the trust becomes a little bit less of an issue in certain parts, right? Um,
yeah,
but if you're developing, obviously that is one of the biggest piece is that you need to have complete faith in in your developer and what they're doing, and the fact that they are not leaving any kind of holes open back end, whether or not it's intentional. Like that's a huge piece as well, right? Because there's a lot of unintentional backdoors that have been left open that people just don't think to shut or don't realize are even there. So yeah, I think that's one of
Yeah,
the best pieces, biggest pieces so
agreed.
far.
No, agreed. 100% agree with you.
So kind of going a little bit back into WarFi and what the protocol is doing to establish, as you said, the fact remains that you need to establish a very good source of revenue generation before you are actually expecting people to put a lot of faith in the project, and people are starting to realize that you need to have these revenue streams beforehand. What is WarFi doing currently, and what's on the roadmap? Because obviously things will continue to scale and build out in the future. But what are you doing currently, and what is to come?
So a lot revolves on our game itself. Having developed a game already before launching is, I think, one of the key reasons why the success will come. And the dynamic hard cap and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different things. But speaking specifically about external revenue, there's two parts of the game. Obviously, we've got a free version that we use. People obviously play tournaments. They buy into tournaments. Everybody, like, we had one the other day. Everybody buys in $10. There's a pool, and 10% gets taken off. So that's been done a lot, obviously, over the last month already.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual, service of that free version as well. So, like I said, we've given this, free version out to a couple private discords, and basically, they pay a fee for it because there's so many, protocols. They would like a little bit more interactiveness from their communities. But I mean, I think people are getting tired of the trivia nights. They're getting tired of the poker nights. So something like this is so cool to obviously have everybody playing together, a little bit of competition, a little bit of fun, and that's just the free version, that we're
Mm-hmm.
giving out, which is creating external revenue already. Then
Mm-hmm.
we've got the actual play to earn side of it, the actual true game itself that's obviously played with crypto. So first of all, we use our own token in the game, which is
Mm-hmm.
great, which gives our token utility. It gives actually the token itself a lot more. But then it can also be played with stable coins, which is amazing. Basically you practice as much as you like on the free option. Then you play the actual paid version where it's play to earn, and basically you're paying $1 to get into the round with 10 other players. Eventually, there's more maps where it can be up to 100 players, depending on how big the map is. And what happens is every kill you get in the game, you're getting 75 cents. So literally, after a kill, you've basically almost got your money. After two kills, you're up, up 50%. So it's quite nice in the fact of, it's not just luck and gambling and, hopeful wishes and thoughts. Basically, it's a proper game that you can obviously develop skill with to earn, actual rewards, which is quite amazing. And that's just the tip of the spear. Yes, the WarFi game is going to go everywhere. We're going to be multi-chained, within about 2-3 months.
Mm-hmm.
We've already got a second chain already done. There's one small bug that we're working on. So at the end of the day, that's our main source to start off with, so people can see there's obviously an external revenue coming in. Day one. Well, -1 because we obviously did a few small things before we launched, but that's just the tip of the spear. And I say this because we've partnered up with Delta Finance, great obviously team there, and because they see the same long-term vision as us, we've completely merged. When it comes to us developing a games hub. Now, when I talk about a games hub, I mean every game you can possibly imagine, but in the blockchain on Web3, using crypto. So yes, WarFi, great game, but
Mm-hmm.
not everybody likes shooting games, so it's a niche. Yes, there's Discord servers with 30,000 people that are just gamers. So we've already hit up those Discords. We're going to be doing things with them in the future. So what's the next step? Everybody has a cell phone. So we need to obviously cater everything from the most serious gamer, from a shooting game like Call of Duty on the blockchain, all the way to your Candy Crushes. So in the next 3-4 weeks, we actually going to be launching the second part of the protocol, which is completely separate, but it's mainly stipulated on a games hub. And there's no token, there's no buy-in, there's no nothing. You go take your $1, you go play any game you want, and it's
Mm-hmm.
literally from WarFi to chess to checkers to 8 ball to there's going to be a racing game, that's brought on by the Delta team. So you can think of it like Need for Speed on the blockchain. It's
Mhm.
just amazing what the guys are developing. I mean, within the first month, we literally have 5 games ready. And there's so many, because people are hearing about what we're doing with this and they see obviously the potential, we haven't even had to have marketed it that well because, the protocols are coming to us with their games. They're like, oh, I see what you're doing. You're trying to create one big space for the whole of play to earn. We
Mhm.
basically want to become the Steam of the blockchain. And
Mhm.
that's the goal. And there's not any risk because obviously you're playing with stable coins. You don't have to buy into a native token. You know, at the end of the day, we're creating obviously a service which is going to be fun, but you can actually play to earn. You get so many of these streamers that get paid to stream from the games, but imagine actually playing those games and getting paid from the actual gaming side.
Mhm.
I mean, there might be people quitting their jobs to play games all day if they're that good.
Yeah, I definitely see that in the future in general. I do think we're heading into a time. I think a lot of very influential people have spoken on this with the development of AI kind of eliminating the need for a lot of those jobs that are just monotonous tasks, right? Whether it be like I
Yeah.
know Elon Musk has spoken on that in the factories, eliminating these possibly more dangerous jobs that are very menial, and that as those are eliminated, right, the standard of living will continue to develop, and then we'll have a point where many of these jobs are not as needed to function or to continue development and progress in technology and all of those other sorts of things. Um, kind of with that, right? Because you guys have this broad focus on developing all these different things at once, do you find that the bandwidth is a tough thing to navigate?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, one of my main problems is obviously delegation. Not good at it at all. So obviously on our side, there's we've got great teams in place doing great things, and I believe through partnership is the way we're going
Mm-hmm.
to succeed. Yeah, we've got an internal team of a couple members, that is just on WarFi. But then
Mm-hmm.
when you look at obviously what we're doing on the games hub, we've got another whole team at Delta, Delta Finance. Then the guys who partnered up with us to create obviously WarFi First Edition is actually Egoverse. The Egoverse gaming studio. So if you want to put all the teams together in what we're doing and what we're creating, there's over 70 people. So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's an amazing how we've over the time that's what we've done. Learning from all these other projects, learning obviously what to do. Growing organically slowly, but having those partnerships in place is something very key beforehand. And I think that's how we've obviously learned to manage and give ourselves the time and grow organically,
Mm-hmm.
which is why we've done the dynamic cap in the first place. On some of our passive income options
Mm-hmm.
because of obviously making sure that it is sustainable and the longevity is going to be there at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very interesting. And since you guys are kind of approaching this space that isn't necessarily just targeting DeFi, right? You're getting into a lot of just the traditional um, user base of gaming and everything else. Do you guys have a business entity set up, or is that in the plans, or like on the legal
Yeah.
side of things? Okay.
So on the legal side of things, the lawyers already submitted everything pending. Um, Full, obviously, WarFi company, which is registered in the British Virgin Islands,
Mm-hmm.
is where it's going to be produced. That shouldn't be long at all. We're waiting for feedback, but these things, it could take 5 minutes. It could take 5 days or 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same as when a dev tells you he's got a bug. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it could be done in 5 minutes or 5 weeks. You know how these things are, and we've taken that approach, because of obviously having the utmost of safety.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in safety above anything. So that's why I'm fully doxed. I mean, my face is on my profile picture, same as you guys. I think we've all understood that that's what's needed in this space right now. There's too many actors, that don't show their face because they know what they've created and it might not be good enough. So I do believe, that is a big sign of things to come.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Especially, touching on that safety aspect, which is why we've decided to go with registering a full-on company, especially
Mm-hmm.
because we're going to be working, with the likes of Android, iOS, Google Play Store. When we're dropping
Mm-hmm.
these apps that, people can get off Google App Store, it needs to be obviously done through lawyers. And you don't even want to know what type of nightmare it is dealing with that. Google
Yeah.
Play Store right now is giving me so much flames. Yeah, it's Nobody wants to be in that position.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons I asked. And kind of branching from that, obviously there might be some legality issues as far as, kids playing some of these games, right? Whether they're able to play these paid versions. Are there any ways that you guys have, at least in the works, that if any regulation does come up, because I'm sure there will be regulation, right? Restricting age
Yeah.
access and things like that.
So what's nice is what safeguards us. And well, this is going to give you a bit of insight of how much lawyering stuff we've already done.
Hmm.
Basically, when we went to the lawyers, we got off quite easy on this one. And the reason why is because it's actually the obligation of the on ramps. So your
Hmm.
exchanges, that obviously offer those stable coins out have got the obligation to make sure the age restriction is there. So that's obviously been left away from us, and we're a little bit in the gray area there. And actually, completely legit. We don't have to worry about it at all, from my understanding. But as rules and regulations go forward, I mean, we all know rules and regulations are coming in shortly. Things could change, but for now, we have no obligation to even worry about that because it's the on ramps that have to be, tight and make sure age restriction is there, not us.
Gotcha. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right. Well, I am going to take it into some questions if you're ready from the audience. I think I kind of went through everything that I had. So first up,
Yeah, I can also give
oh,
a brief.
go ahead,
There's
go
three
ahead.
parts of WarFi. Yeah, just before we get to questions. So obviously our play to earn game is at the center of everything. But even though it's got a lot of synergy with the other parts, there's another two parts of the actual protocol. So
Hmm.
firstly, we've got the passive income side. A lot of people are not big gamers, so we've got obviously some passive income side where you can generate between 1 and 2.2% a day, depending on the rarity of your soldier. So there's 4 soldiers that you can buy, like I said, from 1% to 2.2%. But the thing is, they're not just available at any time. They obviously released in a slow, that's why we have the dynamic cap. We release certain amounts, per week. And reason being is we've got to obviously have it in such a way that our external revenue coming in is more than what's going out paid in emissions.
Hmm.
So, like I said from the very beginning, external revenue utility is key to launch and start a project. I believe, not a lot of people do that these days. Actually, 99% of projects in this space haven't done it that way. But that's obviously the issue. That's the problem. So yeah, that's obviously the first part. And then there's a second part where we've got our trading bots that we've been running for quite a while, which we're going to offer out as a service as well. So, which is quite cool. People can learn more about that. In our Discord and what we're doing. It's obviously to give people the actual experience of the whole space within one ecosystem. As you can see, bringing in other protocols and other projects. It's not just a play to earn, space that we're taking over, because other protocols and projects have come to us and they don't have a play to earn game at all, or maybe they're still developing it. So they might not have the utility from day one. So what we've also done, for example, we've partnered with people like Truth Seeker. They've already obviously
Hmm.
done all our stuff. And we've partnered with guys like Grape Finance. I mean, we all know who Grape is. So Grape Finance, you can actually use the Grape token in our game. And that's going to be launching in a week as well. So that's just amazing that it gives other projects, and other protocols utility, but at the same time, even though all our parts of our project are separate, the synergy between them is amazing, and that's what we pride ourselves in doing. So there's 3 different parts, and we're focusing on a lot. But I believe it's the way to take over the space and do it in a safe, proper manner where people can trust.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. That's super, super important. And kind of like really looking at that, right? Because I know you guys have, for example, you have like the kill token. And since you guys are basing everything on stables, what was the original reason for bringing a new token into the equation, and everything else you do have as well, like with the offering percentage? Because obviously, if you're creating something like Steam, right, like that is an enterprise in itself. Like that is a
Yeah,
that's a golden ticket if you're able to accomplish like something on lines of what Steam has done. So what
yeah.
was the kind of the reason behind offering like the tents and the soldiers and the like these passive income as well as the token itself?
So you've got to capture the whole market, and at the moment, the DeFi space is used to something like that. So that's why it's a very small side of what we're doing, in the big scheme of things. But the thing is, it also drives obviously adoption in what we're doing. It gets us noticed a lot quicker because this space is so focused on passive income at the moment and earning rewards in that way. It slowly drives adoption in a different type of manner, but you're also capturing more of the market. And that's going to be very important. People might have heard of us. They might not be able to, even though somebody likes playing a chess game, you know, now you're going to be able to play chess with an actual kill token. So you might not even need to buy the tents. You can just use the token or BUSD. But for a lot of people, in this space, these are the type of projects that they're getting into. So you need to capture their attention. And gaming might not capture their attention at first. So there's a lot of different, obviously, angles of this, but it's all to obviously capture an audience, and that's why we've looked at each and possible angle to make sure from obviously warbots to long-term obviously holds, to owning a piece of the company, to passive income, to gaming. We've really taken each and every part of DeFi. Like I said, this has been in the plan in the works for many, many months. And that's how we came to think of having a bit of everything to capture the attention of everybody. To put it plain and simply, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So more of a marketing strategy than anything else. Do
Yeah,
you?
let's say more of a marketing strategy and exposure then, and getting people to drive adoption. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Um, in how many ways? So I know that you guys have the like what we I just mentioned. You guys have soldiers, you have the tents. In what other ways are there to earn passive income through WarFi?
Well,
Or is
the
that
one way is obviously there is another way, which is a long term play. We've got the warbots. So basically, the warbots, it's $1,000, for one warbot. Basically, that money goes straight into a pool that is obviously being traded with trading bots. So it's basically a service. I mean, we've all seen James Pelton, and he's got trading bots on his channel. I believe last month he did something like 16% on his trading bots. So the trading bots is another part of this market that is growing. And like I said, we're here to you know have a piece of every single pie and every single audience. So that's something we're doing, and it just makes it easier because a lot of people might not know how to run trading bots. They have to pay others to give them a service. So what we've done is we've brought all of that hassle into one obviously feature where people can own trading bots and not have to do all the admin about acquiring them, running them, having to worry about them. That's what we've done on our side, and they obviously get a percentage of our company as well, of all the external revenue streams coming into WarFi once the WarFi obviously company has launched as well. So yeah, there's a lot of parts to it. I know it sounds like there's a lot, but it's still quite simple at the end of the day because we're offering, certain people will target certain parts of our project.
mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Kind of moving forward, what's the plan to maintain the stable price of kill? And then, is there any plans to launch anything else, or are you guys kind of set with your passive income strategies and with the token that you have right now?
Yeah, like I said, passive income and the token strategy, that's, like I said, that's the smallest part of our project. The main focus of our project is literally going to be on the side of gaming and a play to earn protocol. So that's where we headed. The kill token itself has a price management system. Yeah, I know PMS, it's a bad acronym, but I mean, that's what it does. It manages the price, so not the liquidity. So that's why we don't call it LMS. But anyway, it does keep our price stable between $1 and $1.10. And the reason we try to keep it at $1 is because people are playing with stable coins. So same obviously reason we do that. So that keeps the token itself stable. But it's not obviously there to be a Hail Mary. Like I said, the passive income side is something nice we're doing for the community, in a way of obviously making sure that we get the exposure to those type of people as well. But
Mm-hmm.
our main focus, like I said, is going to be the games. In the first month, well, beginning of next month, we're going to be launching with 5 different games.
Mm-hmm.
There's even some casino stuff as well for people to play. Then then within the next month, there's going to be another 5 games and another 5 games and another 5 games. Eventually, you're not going to be playing Candy Crush on your cell phone or one of those. You're going to be playing, with there's so many people that have had bags of tokens, thousands and thousands of tokens, but they don't want to sell right now. It's a bear market. It can only go up from here, but they would still like to be obviously, trying to get more tokens, doing something with those tokens, realizing it's got more utility. So that's the plan. And to have, like I said, the steam of the blockchain, I believe we can't compete with, like, for example, Corey. There's just no way you can compete with them when once they decide to get onto the blockchain. They're going to obviously be the same successful as they are now. But how we can be successful is being the first ones offering, like I said, an abundance of different games. And if we do it in a way where we capture the market very quickly, especially in Web3 and blockchain, we'll always have that user base. So imagine, in a year or two time, after obviously regulations come through, bull run starts, you've got the guys like Call of Duty saying, hey, we need to get on the blockchain. Why wouldn't they use us as a partner? If we've got 100,000 members one day, why wouldn't they come to us to help integrate them into the ecosystem? Having literally Call of Duty on the blockchain, and doing it in a simple fashion using our integration, and we offering our user base to them already, it's going to be, a no-brainer. So the point is getting in early, and creating the steam of the blockchain, like I said, that is really going to be what's obviously going to be successful for WarFi and the company itself in the long run. The passive income side, very cool. Yes, a lot of people like that, but it's not even 10% of what we're doing. It's a very small part of it. And we do that, obviously, like I said, because we start in the DeFi space, we've got to capture the DeFi space. And a lot of them is not play to earn right now. So we've got to obviously scale. And that's obviously why the Games Hub is 90% of our focus, basically.
Yeah, I think that is a super important point that definitely people need to be thinking about. So one other thing is kind of branching from what you just mentioned. Because I thought it was a kind of funny thought when when you talked about the bots a second ago. When you first said the WarFi bots, I was like, wait, so you can like purchase bots that are playing in the game and like get rewards based on how many players they kill. It threw me off. It threw me through a loop. It got me. It was kind of interesting. But
That sounds pretty cool. I'm gonna note that down. I'm gonna have my own bots playing in the game working for me.
there you go. um, but kind of branching from that, we have quite a few questions. Remember that if you guys are in the audience, we are doing a $50 giveaway to the best question asked. So make sure that you guys ask your questions. It's not the number of questions asked; it's the best one that's asked. So take your time, make something that is going to be helpful for you and for figuring out some of the questions that you do have regarding WarFi. Into the next one though. I think we've gone through all this. You said that the what was it? The PMS, right? The price
Yeah.
management system. What's the difference between how that operates versus an LMS?
Well, it's basically generated it from the same type of code. Remember, it's based upon an algorithmic stablecoin. That's what it's based on. So
Hmm.
it's not rocket science. It's what people don't seem to understand is it's really as simple as a buy and sell. I mean, if you think about it, for example, okay, let me give everybody a really quick example so everybody stops thinking this LMS system is so amazing or PMS system is so amazing. It's a cool feature of ours, and we do it obviously for the actual investors themselves, but it's really not that difficult to create. I mean, any decent coder could create that in a day.
Hmm.
Basically, you have a bot that, for example, let's say our token's sitting at $1, and you go buy $1,000 worth of tokens, and it pushes the dollar up, that token to $1.10. All right, then you've got a bot that's already loaded with BUSD and the kill token. Okay, so all it does is now you've obviously bought. We want the price coming down, so we obviously sell some kill token, and when it goes under $1, we buy some kill token. That's it.
Okay, so the
People must
function
stop
is the
thinking
exact same.
think
Okay.
about it. It's really not. We're not trying to, say this whole thing. It's amazing. Come in because we've got the system. That's all it really is. It's the same as any algorithmic stablecoin.
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
quite the
really
same
not that easy.
function.
Yeah, very similar.
Gotcha. Um. So kind of moving forward. So as far as Egoverse, someone's asking, WarFi Edition is concerned, players who don't have the Soldier NFT can also play it. Apart from them paying 1 kill to enter the game mode, how else will these players without the soldier NFT help in revenue creation?
So, well, basically, they're playing the free version. A lot of obviously Discords, we've given out the free version, like I said, to play the game. So, even though you're playing the game for free, you might be supporting a protocol or supporting a games night, or there's going to be a lot of events that we hold for charity, playing games, for veterans, to support veterans, which is, yeah, like my dad was a veteran, a lot of stuff. But anyway, so there's different ways we can utilize it. And because we've already got the product, that's what my people must understand. 99% of protocols have given you a promise. They're not even at the game yet, or even if they've got to the game, it's not really a game. It's gamified. So it's like a website that you click on once a month or once a week to
Hmm.
get some rewards. That's not really a proper game. I mean, think of a shooting game, Call of Duty, but on the blockchain. It's a
Hmm.
proper game, and that's what we're developing here. Not these gamified click to earns or whatever the case might be. We're creating obviously an ecosystem of proper games, and at
Hmm.
the end of the day, that's going to drive so much adoption. And because obviously there's so many people going to be coming into crypto, you might be playing the free version, but there's another five guys playing the paid version. So it doesn't matter. The free version, we could just cancel the free version. But that's not what we're going to do, because you get people playing the free version, and the FOMO from some guy that you're better than because you played him again in the game like 2 weeks ago on the free version, and now he just got $10 from his $1. You're going to be like, well, how did he do that? I killed him. I'm better than him. Tell me
Hmm.
they're not going to jump into a paid version of the game. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, it definitely makes sense on the marketing strategy that you guys have taken. So I do understand that 100%. Um, moving forward, the more soldiers that somebody has. So this is a question from Blaze. But the more soldiers I have, the more my reward. Do I just need to have these soldiers in my wallet, or would they be used to play every single mission? I.e., what if a soldier gets killed when my game ends, or would I have to forfeit the rewards?
No, so that's what's nice. Like I said, the passive income, the soldiers, the NFTs that you buy, those are completely separate from the actual play to earn. It's got a lot of synergy between the two, but the game is not using the NFTs for now at all. Eventually, there'll be a marketplace where you can play as the character you bought, or you could obviously add a skin, or a skin to your outfit or your gun or whatever. Same as obviously what Steam is doing. But you don't have to you don't have to own one of these soldier NFTs to play the game, and they don't actually, you know, rely on each other at all. Yes, there's synergy, but they're completely two separate entities and don't affect each other in any way.
Hmm. Do you know what marketplace these will be on?
Or we'll have a bolt-on one eventually,
Gotcha, gotcha.
in-house.
Awesome. I definitely think that makes things simpler. And then
Yeah.
how are the will there be royalties on things like that? How would the royalties be allocated? Question from
Well,
somebody.
so obviously on our side, when it comes to Warbots, and we're slowly talking obviously company revenue share, that's discussed obviously with those obviously holders. There's a really selected whitelist group that we've got at the moment that are, when the Warbots launch in about 2 weeks, they know obviously all the information, how it works. But at the end of the day, that's something we're not 100% focused on for now, because of obviously bringing in these different games and different protocols. It's discussed with each one, so it's something that obviously helps the actual protocol and the games hub itself, but it would never affect any investor basically.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha, gotcha. How many black, silver, gold, and ruby ranks are allocated to each tier of soldier?
So there's a drop rate. If you go look at our white paper, the
Hmm.
drop rate is obviously in there. So you've got your different rarities. So if you buy an infantry or a sniper or whatever, you've got a percentage of obviously sporting a higher rarity of soldier. And in our white paper, it all stands there. I'm not going to go through each one. There's like 16 different soldiers to go through. So
Hmm.
check the white paper out, guys. I think that'll probably be a lot easier and a lot less time consuming.
For that white paper though, so there are percentages listed, and this is a follow up question with it. Um, the white paper mentions, for example, lieutenant earns 70%. What is the 70% of, or is it an additional 70%, or what is that referring to?
It's referring to the chance of your drop. That's it. It's not referring to how many NFTs there are. It's not referring to obviously how many there are in total. It's literally the chance that you obviously have of dropping that. That's it.
Okay, gotcha. Um, can you discuss future utilities of retired soldiers?
Ooh, so there's a couple things, like special. There's a lot of utility still growing around this because we
Hmm.
obviously have time to generate that. But basically anything what we've got at the moment is from special obviously games nights. Where for example we offer up $2,000 to all the people that have got a retired sniper. Here we go. Come play, obviously, just in this specific games night. Or there's going to be certain events. There's going to be certain portions that we do giveaways, and you have to have
Hmm.
certain retired soldiers. So there's a lot that we can do, but that list just keeps growing.
Hmm.
I can't even tell you all of it now because we're just going to keep growing it. At the end of the day, we want to obviously show our investors what they mean to us, and that's why utility never stops. You got to keep obviously building more and more in utility. So that's
Hmm.
what we're planning to do.
Yeah, sure, for sure. I love to hear it. With the maximum allocation of 1450, right, a public pre-sale, it helps you get whitelisted for the WordBot. Is there any sustainability concept behind that, behind the WordBot itself?
Well, the Warbot, remember, it's got nothing to do with sustainability because it's directly put into trading bots. So at the moment, just to give everybody fair chance as well, 1450 was at the pre-sale. Now, obviously, going forward in time, you only have to do $1,000 to get listed for the whitelist for the Warbots.
Mhm.
So that's quite cool. We've brought it down, obviously. And what's unique is remember, it's literally think about your $1,000 staying in a wallet and it's getting traded with a trading bot. That's basically what it's about. There's no issues of sustainability at all because the actual percentage that is obviously paid out is what the trading bots are making. That's it.
Gotcha, for sure, for sure. Leading in, I'm sorry. There's a lot of questions, which is why we're going so quick.
Yeah, I can see this quite a bit.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I think I've been skipping over a couple, so I made sure to hit at least a couple from everybody. Um, but is there any mathematical model to determine the hard cap on soldier creation? Um,
Yeah, it's very simple. I'll give that straight from the bat. That's why we call it a dynamic hard cap. And it's because of external revenue coming in.
Mhm.
That's it. We will not offer another soldier until that money is accounted for.
Gotcha, gotcha. So you're waiting until essentially until it's sold, or until you have those funds completely back, and they'll just be sitting there waiting so that you don't overpromise and have to have any issue with that.
Exactly.
That makes
Not
sense.
overpromise. We're not going to run a Ponzi like
Yes.
99% of projects out here. And I'm not afraid to use that word. And I throw it out quite often. And the reason is because that's one of the biggest problems in this space. Once again, people offer a promise. So it's a Ponzi for the first couple months. And then they try and bring utility and revenue later. And that doesn't work, as we've seen with some of the biggest, obviously, projects lately. So at the end of the day, we do things differently. And that's why the game's been in development for 9 months. We've launched at
Hmm.
a time where we've got utility and revenue coming in beforehand. And our revenue projections is obviously what's determining what we hand out. And we've got enough people in there asking for more and more soldiers. Keep releasing, but we will not do that. And it doesn't matter how much you ask or try or beg or give me death threats. It was a joke one, but anyway, I get where he was coming from. But basically, we will not, give out, passive income unless the protocol can handle it. It's as simple as that, and that's to do with the safety of the investors. There's way too many projects right now over-promising, and at the end of the day, those projects are making the space smaller and smaller because they are letting investors lose money. And what do? They eventually leave the space. And there's so much that we can do in this space. There's so much great technology. There's so much potential. But because of obviously bad actors, it's making the space so small. And it's getting smaller and smaller, especially because of the bear market and especially because of bad actors in the space. And we will not contribute to that. And I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a big, outspoken person when it comes to Ponzi's and how these bad protocols are run. So yeah, that's why I obviously am so highly speak on how obviously how we've done the projection models going forward and why we will not just release passive income to people, even if we've got tomorrow, let's say 10,000 people join our Discord, all looking
Hmm.
for soldiers, and we're great. That's great investment coming in. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. The company is not ready for that type of commitment, and that's just what it is.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think that's a very
So I like that.
important.
I like that question a lot. It gets at the main focus of our sustainability and longevity. That's the main two keywords we use at WarFi, and that question is so important to me, and I love people asking it. So that's my favorite one so far. Just
Yeah. So with everything that you guys got, I do like the attention to making sure that anything that you guys are offering is sustainable by the protocol before even putting it out there. Extremely important piece that I think people are starting to realize in the space now that in a bear market you cannot rely on the Ponzonomics. Yeah, it's just not going to work. We've seen a lot of projects fail in the last 8 months, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that it relied little bit too strongly on the Ponzonomics behind it, right? And there's still some projects that are kind of teetering and moving downhill because of that. Um, so with that, I do really appreciate that attention to those statements. As the protocol moves forward, do you think that there will be a kind of a movement away from the kill token and into BUSD? Is there a way to actually utilize BUSD instead of kill token on during the games if someone doesn't want to have to go through transacting? Um, or how does that
basically
all work?
it launches with BUSD, not
Okay.
just the kill token. Like I said, the kill token is a nice 10% small side of the actual project of the protocol itself. But the main aim is to eventually move away from the kill token and the NFT soldiers completely. That's
Hmm.
that's the point. Like I said, it was designed that way to bring in adoption and let people come in, let obviously us build out this amazing ecosystem. But at the same time, all right, we're not obviously allowing that to take over. That is a cool part of it, but it's eventually going to just go away to nothing, and it's going to be purely an actual, games hub where people can play games, and that's what we're obviously focused on. So yes,
Hmm.
it's quite a cool feature for now, and a lot of people obviously in the space are really focused on passive income, which is why we've included it. But it's not our be all and end all focus. That's why we only release 20, 30 soldiers every week. It's because obviously we want to obviously stay away from that. Kill token is not
Hmm.
obviously going to be the be all and end all. It's just not. It's the smallest part of our project, and that's why we stick away from it.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the bigger pieces, and it's something that I've been thinking about, and then Cyril brought it up, um, because as you get into gaming, right, especially FPS, you have a lot of aimbot, you have a lot of hacks and a lot of exploits along those lines on the
Yeah,
gaming side, especially when money is involved. Now there's a real
yeah.
reason to utilize it. What ways are you guys preventing individuals from doing that? And if it does happen, what way are you preventing them from doing it again? Because people in the gaming space are different from people here. If you just had somebody change a wallet, and it might be very, very, very difficult because there are things like VPNs, and most people in crypto understand how to use them, right? Whereas the gaming
Yeah, you
space
see,
might not have as many.
yeah. Well, we see what's nice is a VPN obviously can control where you're coming from, but luckily the blockchain itself doesn't. So that's what's quite nice. People obviously using the blockchain are going to get linked to obviously the blockchain. So if you're coming in with a specific wallet or anything like that, and it pinpoints that, we've got obviously measures in place. We spend more on the safety of the protocol of the actual game itself than actually designing it. Just to
Hmm.
let people know, like no jokes, that is the main focus when it comes to the game. I mean, you can imagine there's people that hack and aimbots and all this just on normal games to for reputation for being number one, not even about money. Imagine when you get money involved. It's going to be
Hmm.
a whole new board game. So basically that was one of our biggest focus. That's why I say it cost more to do that side of things than actually developing the game. So yeah,
Yeah,
great
definitely.
great question as well. But yeah, some one of our main focuses.
Gotcha, gotcha. How many maps will the game have?
Yeah, I'm there as well. So being a hardcore gamer. Okay, so what's nice about it as well is we're going to release it slowly. So there's going to be more and more maps generated every single month. You'll have
Hmm.
another map. You'll have another map. And the reason why we're not dropping them all at once as well is because to keep that hype, keep people coming into the system. And it's just the first game. Remember, there's going to be, like I said, within 3 weeks, guys, we've got 5 games. So it's just obviously WarFi is pretty cool, the game itself, the shooting game, and hardcore gamers will love it. But yes, there's going to be certain like I said, the project itself and the game is two separate entities, but it has synergy. So there'll be one or two maps that you'll have to obviously, own a retired soldier or an active soldier, or there'll be a specific mode that is only playable, for this amount of time, and we'll drop different maps, we'll drop different obviously skins, the marketplace, like I said. So answering, that bunch of questions, there's going to be an Elo system as well, and from game one, basically. Your KDA is taken into account from game one and matches you up with other KDA. And that's very important, especially, because of obviously that system where you can't have somebody that's coming in to play fun. And, his first $10, he didn't even play 2 minutes because he's just getting killed so often by professionals. So there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things that we've done in regards to that. That's touching on the safety and security. But yeah, that's the maps itself is there's going to be plenty. We just keep creating. Remember, a game is never fully developed. You can keep creating more and more maps and more modes. There's going to be team deathmatch, capture the flag. There's going to be all for one. There's going to be last man standing. It doesn't matter what there is. We're going to keep creating and keep expanding. That's the main aim of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gotcha. Makes sense. Um, with everything else, kind of moving forward, I know that you mentioned that you have different skins that will, that are in the works of becoming available online with the NFTs. Are there any other skins you guys will be releasing that don't provide necessarily that passive income, but just as far as maybe generating some more revenue for the protocol? I mean, we've seen big games like Fortnite, and practically the entire ecosystem relies on the sale of their skins, right, and um
Yeah,
their premium, or what is it? I forget what it. Their Game Pass. I forget what it's called. Is it just the Game Pass?
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
but
just
yeah.
a game. That's more educational for people just calling it a game pass anyway. So basically, we that's why I said we're going to have those similar lines where you can have skins for your guns, you can have skins for your characters, you can have certain obviously cries. So music NFTs are going to come into it because there's going to be certain chants that your character can do, and that's going to be pure revenue for the actual protocol itself. It's got nothing to do with passive income. So
Hmm.
that's what's amazing as well. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I think that's super important. And kind of, I think we've touched on most of everything. I guess the only thing left is, do you guys, what partnerships are you guys already in talks with, or already, have already established? You mentioned that they have a lot of different games coming in for the whole ecosystem that you guys are building out. So, what kind of partnerships have you already developed slash are you looking at?
Oh, gee whiz, there's plenty. Like I mentioned, from Grape to Titano to Truth Seekers to Chainbait to other gaming studios to Egoverse. There's plenty that we're doing, and Champion Finance. There's the list goes on. And who we're looking to still acquire is any project that's not you know based on bad actors. Good, stable projects that are looking for the long term. We're going to take them on board, and obviously, the more and more we acquire, the more and more we can build one whole ecosystem of, trust and obviously good actors to keep this space, going in the right direction.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's super important. And any specific games that you guys have that already have already approached you about working with you guys?
Yes, but I think I'm going to let that alpha stay for the launch of the games hub itself. there'll be
Gotcha.
a
So
there'll
they're
be a
not out just yet.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, I've touched on a couple already, but I think we've got a separate Discord for the pure gaming hub itself. So
Hmm.
that's going to be an AMA that we come and do on here again, where we just touch on the actual games hub and talk only games, only partnerships.
Hmm.
Where we'll definitely be back here at Cardinal and give guys a little bit more of a rundown specifically just on the gaming hub itself.
Hmm. Gotcha. Love to hear it. Is there anything else that we missed on wanted to touch up on?
Well, I'm officially inviting the Cardinal House in a match against Obsidian versus Obsidian versus WarFi versus Grape Finance. So we're going to have a couple of the guys from each team, and we'll be playing for something. I don't know what it is. But hopefully we all have a great game. I think we're going to be doing this at the end of the month. So it's an official invite. If Cardinal House wants to get their best ready,
Let's do
they're
it.
invited to the 10-man team. So get your
Yeah,
best ready, and we'll see you guys at obviously the end of the month for a tournament, and we'll have projects going against each
that sounds awesome.
other.
If you'd like for us to run it as an event, definitely would love to. Sounds great.
Yeah, I think how cool would that be? Every single protocol, every single, is running the event co-tandemly. We'll probably
Hmm.
have it on James Pelton's channel, live streaming as well.
Yep.
So we're gonna have a cool, round or two, which is, we can go up to like 50 kills or something, or we'll have smaller rounds or whatever the case might be. But yeah, I'll put up some dollars for everybody to come in and join, and we'll have all the protocols, facing it out against each other.
That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. Let's get it get it working. Make sure you
So
keep us posted on all
I'm
that.
definitely going to put you on that. You got to tell your team about that, and they need to practice on the free version. The best player, the best player is going to represent Cardinal House at the end of the
Awesome. Awesome. Sounds good. All right. Well, I will
month.
with that said, I'm going to go through the questions real quick and I will tag the winner of the $50 and make sure you send your wallet address to Zach when I do tag you. So be on the lookout for that. It'll come out in the next couple minutes here. But thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you coming on, Chicken Chaser, and kind of going through everything again.
Yeah, no, anytime. If anybody ever needs any extra info, please, my DMs are open. I'm open, transparent. I get on video calls all the time. If I could do a video call right now, I would be. I'm the first person to, be transparent. But yeah, come check what we're doing. Come look in the Discord, look around, chat to a few people. Do what you normally do. I suppose I don't have to say anything extra. But just thanks for having me, and thanks for everybody here listening.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Anyways, have a wonderful day, guys, and we will catch you all soon. Catch you guys
Yeah,
later.
check you guys out. Cheers, guys. Bye.